want to be prepared for those things. But again, I couldn't tell you that if I hadn't walked that road.
If you'd be doing it now.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know.
Is it worth even thinking about? Because you're here now, you're
Yeah.
creating your own stuff, you're working for Marvel,
Mhm.
you're doing that dream. So is there anything about that dream that, because you're kind of in that place, is there anything that still drives you forward? What's next? What does the future dream look like from here?
So like, you all like the great thing about a Marvel is there's always, even not in a Marvel, but in this career, there's always like a next step, especially like what I do and like a lot of the guys that I would, have a lot in common with is we want to get better. So you're good enough to like get the work at Marvel, but then there are the guys that are like, you know, they sell the big numbers of books. They're the guys that everybody looks to.
There's people you aspire to still be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's always that. And then outside of that, because of the writing, it's like, if I've done everything I need to do at Marvel, can I start doing my own stories? And what will that be? So everything can change. You don't know where the career's going. You don't know what your next job offer is going to be. Like, I'm working on a series at the minute, and that'll be 5 issues. And then who knows, like the next thing they might be like, you know what, Rory's ready to work on a Spider-Man. You just don't know what that is. So there's always something to look towards. So the editors and the people at Marvel always want to know, like, what do you want to work on? What do you want to do? Because they'll look, if they know what you want, they'll kind of, as long as you can prove to be a safe pair of hands, they'll happily sort of like direct you that way. So if it's characters, if it's you want to expand your role into like a little bit of writing or something.
And what do you say to that question right now? We're at Marvel, right? Let's say we're at Marvel right now. What do you want to work on?
I want to work on like an obscure 90s character. So I'd love to work on Spider-Man, but there's like,
Who's an obscure character then? Because
Like-
Spider-Man's more mainstream,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
yeah, so I would love to work on Blade. I'd love to do a Blade book, but
There seems to be a resurgence of a wanting for Blade, I feel
Yeah.
like, in the air right now.
Definitely, especially after Mahershala Ali won the Oscar and then said, "I want to be Blade," which was a great thing because it brought him back. He hadn't been in the comics or anything, but I don't know if you were reading Marvel in the 90s. You remember the
Yes,
Clone
yeah.
Saga?
The
The Clone Saga in Spider-Man, where
No.
they changed Spider-Man, like Peter Parker.
where he went into like Doc Ock. No, that was to do with. No, that was something else.
Oh, that was
wasn't
the superior Spider-Man. That was
Yes,
maybe
yes.
in the 2010s. No, this was like in the mid 90s where they had the Scarlet Spider.
it? Oh, okay.
And he was a clone. There was a story in like the 70s or something where one of the villains cloned Spider-Man and made the two clones fight, and
Right.
then Spider-Man beat the clone, and that was the end of the story. But then in the 90s, they were kind of in this position where they thought, we've kind of got Peter Parker now.